Good morning, buenos dias. My name is Erin McKinney. My pronouns are she, her. I have the joy of serving on your board of trustees. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. If you're here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite everyone present in the sanctuary today to join our in-person community time immediately following the service. Love is at the center of our shared American Unitarian Universalist values. It is the power that holds us together. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. I want to call your attention to the Transgender Day of Remembrance observance that our LGBTQ+ Gender Reproductive Justice team is sponsoring at our community center on Friday evening. See the e-beacon for details. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Kay Kreider. Kay is a consultant with Stewardship for Us, a national UU stewardship consulting group. She's here this weekend to learn about our congregation and in particular stewardship and engagement. I'd like to invite Kay to say a few words.
Good morning. It's been really great to be with you here this weekend, and then many people on Zoom before in the week leading up. And you all are a resilient, amazing congregation. And I have to say, wow, this is the best space that I've been in, and I've been in a lot of spaces for UU churches. Really great. So I met with many people about your programs and your church culture. And this afternoon at 12:15 here in the sanctuary, I'll be talking to you about your responses to the survey, info on how you're doing, both just amongst you and then in relationship to other congregations your size, and give you some compliments, some observations, and some recommendations. So I welcome you to join me then at 12:15. Thanks so much.
We are delighted this morning to have Reverend Allison Farnham and Keith Talley in our pulpit today. Reverend Allison is the director and minister of the Unitarian Universalist Prison Ministry of Illinois, also known as UUPMI, and an affiliated community minister at Second Unitarian Church of Chicago. She lives with her family in Evanston. Keith Talley is the prison reentry coordinator at Phalanx Family Services, an executive board member with Chicago Community Bond, and the newly hired prison solidarity specialist for UUPMI. He was recently released from the clutches of the Illinois Department of Corrections this January 2024 and now resides on the far south side of Chicago. Welcome, Allison and Keith. We're so glad that you're with us today. Whether you're here in person or here virtually, we hope you find the service inspiring and meaningful. I invite those of you here in person to take a moment and greet one another.
Good morning, I'm Reverend Roger, and my pronouns are he, him, and our chalice lighter this morning is Ruby, who is age 9. Ruby likes soccer and gymnastics, and Ruby's favorite color, Ruby, what's your favorite color again? Red. I didn't write red down. Let's join in the chalice lighting words. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open mind, the loving heart, the helping hands. We care of the planet Earth and each other. And we have some additional chalice lighting words today that come from Reverend Sarah Lawal, minister in Boise, Idaho. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise to embrace the mystery, wonder, and awe of all there is and all that is yet to be. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared community. Out of the flames, we rise.
My name is Barbara Moline. My pronouns are she and her. 5 years ago, I signed up to be a pen pal with the UUPMI, motivated not by social justice ideals, but by the fact that I enjoyed writing letters. And as a former therapist, I'd always loved hearing people's stories. Again and again, just when I thought I'd heard everything, a new amazing tale would unfold. And so it continued, writing to pen pals. I knew nothing about prisons nor the people in prison, and came to this experience with the predictable stereotypes: good guys and bad guys, upstanding citizens and criminals. But real life is much more complicated and nuanced. It turns out, in fact, that good guys and bad guys, criminals and upstanding citizens exist on both sides of the prison wall. I learned that what separated me from most of those inside was not my superior morality, but privilege. Poverty, racism, abuse, broken families, drugs, gender discrimination, mental illness, and guns are the breeding grounds of crime. Yes, for some of these experiences have also touched me, but seldom to the degree of those I've met inside. We are a country that holds individuals solely responsible for their actions, without addressing their context. Our country has the highest incarceration rate of any country in the world and the longest prison sentences. California has just passed stronger prison sentences for shoplifters, complaining that drugstores are having to lock up toothpaste. Who steals toothpaste? Think of what could be done with the billions that will be expended on prisons. As a pen pal, I have also witnessed the power of human connection. Persons incarcerated, often cut off from their families, lonely, bored, often abused, write again and again of their gratefulness that someone has reached out to them and recognized their humanity, sent them a letter, honored their birthday, put $20 in their account so they could buy deodorant or underwear. In these times when we so often feel that our actions for justice count for nothing, let me close with these words, recently sent by one of our inside pen pals. I just want to wish you and your team the best life ever. This journey with your compassion and empathy has brought so much joy, education, and hope to me. I started to feel worthy again, like I did before prison. I am not suicidal anymore. I have found my purpose in life, and I will continue my rehabilitation every day. Thanks for giving me a second chance. I am very grateful. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your life's journey or in the world, you are welcome here. Come, let us worship together. Please rise in body and spirit to sing the opening song, hymn number 131 in the gray hymnal. Love will guide us.
Please remain standing and join me in the words of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
My name is Tristan Hansen. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve on your spiritual care team. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, and sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with each other is one of the ways in which we embody love in this congregation. Those attending in person may share your joys and sorrows in the binder outside the doors to the sanctuary, or you can always email us at spiritualcare@unitytemple.org. If you would like to talk to someone about what is on your heart, please feel welcome to reach out to the spiritual care team. We are here to listen and sit with you in both times of joy and sorrow. We did not have any joys and sorrows shared this week, but we know that we are all holding both in our hearts. We invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow to come forward to one of the 4 stations around the sanctuary and to drop a stone in the bowl of water for either a joy or sorrow. We invite you to engage in the spiritual practice of silence as we do this. At the end, we will sing Spirit of Life as a benediction. Let us begin.
Let us unite our hearts and minds in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life and love, our hearts are full this day, as they so often are, with so many joys and sorrows, so many little things, and so many tiny and medium and big things. May we know that we hold all those things together and that we are not alone. Wednesday, November 20th is Transgender Day of Remembrance. And so today we mourn and honor those who lost their lives because they dared to be who they are. We hold in our hearts those glorious souls with names both known and unknown, and offer thanks for their lives. We know that we have the power to change the world so that all can be who they are, whatever their sexual orientation, whatever their gender identity and expression. The world is a better place when we can all show and live and be our true selves. May we answer that call to live in love. May we fiercely protect those who are vulnerable. May we continue to grow and change and question our ideas about gender identity and expression. May we keep on opening our hearts and minds and spirits further and further. May we know and feel deep down in our souls that each one of us is amazingly and wonderfully beautiful. May we know that we are surrounded always, both this day and all our days, by love. Amen. Blessed be. If you are somebody who likes to come close when you're listening to a story, I invite you to come and sit down on the floor near me. I have a story today called See You Soon, written by Mariam Kaba. And this story is a story about a family and with some hard things that happen. But what I love about this story is that it reminds us how powerful love is and how important connection is. And that is something that we talk about here every week, how important love is and how important it is to remind each other that we are not alone. So this is called See You Soon. Queenie is what they call me, but Raina is my name. I am 6 years old, and my life's about to change. My mama, she's been sick since I was very small. Sometimes she goes away when she isn't feeling well at all. A girl at school named Keisha sometimes says mean things to me. Your mama, she takes drugs. Your mama is a junkie. Keisha's words sting my heart and leave me feeling sad. Don't pay her any mind, says Grandma Louise. Your mama is sick, and that doesn't mean she's bad. When mama isn't sick, we are 2 peas in a pod. We shop at the grocery store, roam aisles, even and odd. We share ice cream sundaes and play games at the park. We wash clothes at the laundromat and watch the fireflies in the dark. Today we're riding on a train. Grandma, Mama, and me will board the bus to the county jail once we get out of the city. Grandma's reading the Bible. Mama's looking out the window. No one is speaking, not one word. We don't have much farther to go. I have so many questions I'd ask, but I'm afraid. I push my fingers through my mama's, weaving them tight like a braid. Standing tall in front of the jail, I breathe in and find the strength. I ask Mama, where will you sleep? She looks like her heart will break. Can I see a room, I ask? Mama's eyes are bright with tears. No, baby girl, no one is allowed. She speaks, but I don't hear. I wonder what Mama's cell looks like. Will it be cold inside? Are there warm blankets for her? My heart is pounding. I want to run and hide. I look into Mama's eyes. I don't want to see her cry. I don't want Mama to go to jail. She should always be by my side. Who will help me braid my hair? Who will I ask about homework? Mama makes it fun to learn. My chest begins to hurt. Mama opens her arms and wraps me up. She hugs me so, so tight. You be good. Take care of Grandma, baby girl. I'll be all right. So many questions are swirling in my head. I have time for just one more. When will I see you again, Mama? Soon, Queenie, soon, she says to me. Time will fly. Don't you worry, my Queenie. Grandma Louise takes my hand and we walk to the door. 2 years is not soon, I yell, so mad my face turns red. Grandma gives me a look and I say sorry and hang my head. I don't want to leave my mama. She'll be in there all alone. But Grandma says it's time to go. We got to catch the bus and train home. Mama kisses my cheeks wet with tears. She turns and walks through the gate. I want to beg her not to go, to stay with us. Grandma and I are quiet as we ride home. When we arrive, I run into my room, just wanting to be alone. But there's a brand new quilt on my bed. It has photos of Mama and me, opening presents at Christmas, eating birthday cake, Mama holding me when I was a baby. I throw myself on the bed and wrap myself in memories. I fall asleep dreaming of my Mama, her voice saying, "Sweet dreams, Queenie." The next day at school, my mind is wandering. The teacher calls on me, but I don't hear. Is Mama lonely without me? Is she doing okay? My heart is heavy with worry and fear. 2 long weeks go by, and then one day when school is done, I find a letter on my bed. It's my Mama's handwriting, shining bright like the sun. The letter reads, "To my baby girl Queenie, from Mama." I open it slowly and gently. I sit down on my bed to read it, and my heart fills with peace. Dear baby girl, this is your Mama, and I love you. I loved you before I even met you. I love you still, and I always will. Even though I'm away, my love is always here to say, "See you soon, Queenie. Love, Mama." Grandma comes into my room. She has a grilled cheese sandwich for me to eat. She says, "Do you want to see your Mama next Saturday?" I jump up and down and say, "Yes, yes, yes." I rain down kisses all over Grandma's face. See you soon. When bedtime comes, I hold the letter as darkness fills my room. I fall asleep hearing my Mama's voice. See you soon, Queenie. See you soon. See you soon. The end. All right, we're going to send you to Unity House.
My name is Kathy Clark. My pronouns are she and hers. Each week, Unity Temple splits our offering between the congregation and an organization that fulfills our mission and interests in the community. This week, half supports the UU Prison Ministry of Illinois, which seeks to equip Unitarian Universalists to transform institutions and support people harmed by the Illinois prison system. UUPMI partners with the UU Advocacy Network of Illinois and other organizations to advocate for criminal justice reform for our prison industrial complex. They do this through seminars and Reverend Farnham's presence in pulpits. It creates solidarity support groups in UU congregations for persons released from prison and provides group services inside Cook County Jail and Women's Logan Prison. My pen pal, Michael, at Menard Prison, has taught me about resilience in the face of a long sentence and the myriad problems he faces being incarcerated in our prison system. Instructions for giving are in the order of service and on the screen. May we be transformed by our giving, and the world be transformed by our gifts.
Our reading today is called The Mirror, and it's by Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith holds a Master of Arts in Christian Ministry and Restorative Arts from North Park Seminary. He has been caged for 34 years in Illinois state prisons, currently locked up at Big Muddy Correctional in Ina, Illinois. Lonnie is a scholar activist who serves on the UU Prison Ministry of the Illinois Advisory Council, and here are his words. Stateville Correctional Center is a tomb that contains the convicted, whether guilty or not, and the only object that one has to see themselves with is the mirror. A mirror is no respecter of person. The distorted view can be a true reflection of self. The mirror is a consistent companion in one's solitude and gives solace in seeing a familiar face that keeps you company in the loneliest times. The gravity of being buried alive in a place that holds so many tortured souls makes you wonder, are you still among the living? But the mirror confirms you're still alive. The mirror gives you vision beyond the 10-foot by 6-foot concrete box and iron bars to see dull surfaces intended to dehumanize the soul and suppress our emotions. In wonder, a select few can see glimpses of beauty, and sometimes capturing one profound image can give you peace throughout the entire day. In a place designed to break you psychologically and spiritually, we find community in the human interaction of conversing with our next-door neighbor. With the mirror held out the century-old bars, we can talk face-to-face with a fellow captive about nostalgia, sorrow, and hopes for tomorrow. This is what builds community in the reflections of a mirrored life.
All right. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Keith Talley. My pronouns are he and him. And I'd like to thank you for welcoming me. I'd like to thank Emily and Roger and the entire community. I've had the privilege of traveling and crisscrossing the state with Reverend Allison to various UU institutions in fulfillment of our mission. And we were at Second UU, and that was the first time I heard that poem by Brother Lonnie. And hearing those words and recalling those experiences, I burst out into tears. I didn't just weep. I came overcome with emotion, and I'm sitting there in the pews just crying. And even after the service, while I was driving home, I was still full. And I began to wonder, why did that poem impact me so much? Because being reminded of various experiences while confined, they create some emotion, but nothing like that. And so I began to think, and so for me, the mirror has always had a real powerful meaning. In the Islamic tradition, in the Sufi tradition, the mirror is symbolic of the heart, right? And it's also utilized in describing one's relationship with the divine. And so the mirror represents the reflection of the divine within you, all right? And sometimes that mirror can be obscured and dirty, all right? And so there's a poem by Rumi that says that the deeper and deeper we look within, the cleaner and clearer the mirror becomes, all right? And not only we don't become the divine, but we get to reflect those attributes, right, by purifying ourselves. So the mirror has always had symbolic meaning to me, but in reviewing Lonnie's poem, I saw that the real practical things of the mirror. I have a mirror here, right? And I want you to envision Shawshank Redemption, right? You know, the bars, right? Because many of our institutions are Civil War institutions. He talked about Menard and Statesville. Those were built during the Civil War. And so you stick the mirror out, right? So you see further down the wall. And so the mirror becomes a lifeline, right? When you're fishing for provisions, someone's sharing a book or a meal, you have to mirror out so you can fish your line out and connect with their line so that you can be fed and fulfilled. He talked about when we have those conversations, we can hear each other quite clearly from one cell to the other, right? But we stick our mirror out so we can see each other's eyes. So we can see each other's eyes as we're communicating, recapturing our humanity, right? The mirror for us is an act of defiance. It is a symbol of defiance and not allowing ourselves to be confined or limited to that small space, that space that was meant to be finite, and through the mirror we can make infinite. So when I reflected upon that, I really enjoyed that poem, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. And I want to switch gears real quickly because I want to get in Reverend Alice's way. But, I was part of the Pen Pal program as well, a transformational experience for me. And I always tell this story, and I won't tell the entire story because I don't have the time. But I was introduced by UU through a very unusual pathway. See, prison is religiously conservative. It is racially segregated. It is amazingly homophobic. And I was introduced to UU by a white, gay, she has since made her transition now, since she's been free, Buddhist. Through this conversation we had, and she shared some information to me about UU, and I will go on to explore it and then become a pen pal, right? So that is this wonderful message of love that is being shared within those walls. And being a part of that pen pal program had a transformational impact on my life, and I would be remiss if I came to Unity Temple, the home of our champion, and then I didn't create a space in a moment for us to show our appreciation for her. And that is for Sister Barbara Moline. I cannot. Let's show us some love, y'all. Yeah, she's not here right now. But just to give you the impact, I used to find myself during the holiday season in tears on the edge of my bed. I'm in my mid-50s on the bed crying because I got a card. Someone who I didn't know told me I mattered. And I get emotional every time I think about it. I got from whomever, I don't know who it came from, it just had Barbara's name on it, a couple dollars so that I can enjoy a meal. Or we can put our funds together and we can make a meal and establish a semblance of community. And so I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you guys. And keep up the good work. Thank you.
I'm Marty Swisher, the music director here, and my pronouns are she and her. And this morning, you're going to hear two singers for our musical offering that are the winners of the Unity Temple Vocal Music Scholarship Program that we hold every March. And the first will be Henry Bogsovich. He is a senior at Oak Park River Forest High School. You support these scholarships, and again, this is another outreach where we're expressing our extreme appreciation.
Shall we gather by the river, where bright angels' feet have trod, with its crystal tide forever flowing by the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God. Soon we'll reach the shining river. Soon our pilgrimage will cease. Soon our happy hearts will quiver with the melody of peace. Yes, we'll gather by the river, the beautiful river. Gather with the saints by the river that flows by the throne of God, that flows by the throne of God.
What a gift in these times it is to gather together towards communion with the holy and seeing each other's humanity, to be reminded still of all that is possible. And I know that today there might be those of us who feel like there's plenty to despair about, that there's plenty to be feeling so far from hopeful about. And at the same time, we gather together, refusing to abandon one another, refusing to abandon the beautiful gift of Unitarian Universalism that reminds us that no one is outside the circle of love and that healing and redemption is possible, even in some of the most what seems impossible situations. I'm sure some of you could think of what some of those impossible situations these days might be. Amen? Okay, so I'm not alone. I'm not alone. What a beautiful feeling. That phrase, refusing to abandon, came from Monica Cosby, who's one of the founding members of the UU Prison Ministry of Illinois, who I still consult with, and many of us do, in the formation of our curriculum that goes into the jail, into Logan Women's Prison. And Monica tells stories about how deeply people developed community in her life in prison at Logan, and how important that was, so that even if there were moments where you knew you would get a ticket for misbehaving, you'd make a silly face at the guard anyway because it made your friend who was feeling depressed laugh. Or the times when she was accompanied through the most difficult passages of her life in prison, and people sat by her side because they knew that pain and they knew that solidarity was important. What a beautiful thing it is to gather together. To know that we have the possibility, each and every one of us, to bring our gifts of accompaniment with each other. And so as the exploration of healing and repair is flowing through this month, there is that reminder that we can restore ourselves to one another. And that the best of Unitarian Universalist practices remind us of that on a daily basis when we are in covenant with one another. When we have opportunities to lean into generative conflict with one another. But I bet that never happens here. Ruth Wilson Gilmore is an abolitionist social geographer, and she lays out in the body of her work about how the state has routinely abandoned people through the criminalization of people who are without wealth, the warehousing of particularly black and brown bodies in prisons, jails, and detention centers. But what she talks about, and when she leans in to define what abolition is, it's not just the absence of prisons and policing and detainment centers and surveillance. It's about the building up of life-giving institutions. That there is a culture that we can encourage of building up those life-giving institutions by refusing to abandon one another. So while we see in so many places the results of the abandonment of the state, we can also find and cultivate, as Unitarian Universalists, those bright spots where we see places of hope, healing, and care. And some of those places in this area include restorative justice hubs that are all over Chicago, but also the deeper work of advocacy and systemic long-term change that our congregations do, partnering with so many other frontline communities, with the UU Advocacy Network of Illinois, by working towards something called transformative justice. Something where we see not only caring about that we provide opportunities for people to be in circle and to develop relationships, build trust, accompany one another, and also provide spaces where we can create real healing from harm when harm happens. But there's the other piece beyond the restorative justice, which is looking at transformative justice, which is the opportunity to swim upstream and wonder, why did this harm happen in the first place? What are the systemic machines, the well-oiled machines, that are running, that are perpetuating violence in our communities? And how do we find ways to disrupt that and also encourage the building up of those life-giving institutions that are outside of these cycles of death, violence, and harm? This is part of the work that Unitarian Universalist congregations that I get to visit and that Keith has visited are committed to developing. Looking at the short-term needs of what's going on in terms of restoring relationships through the work that we do as covenanted communities and bringing that work. We have folks in this congregation who go inside to Cook County Jail and provide places of solace and peace where there are none. And then we also have places where congregations are part of that long-term work, not only of policy changes, but of looking at where are those bright spots, those communities who, since the beginning, have had to organize outside of the state, because if they called the state to help them, they would end up getting picked up or murdered. So when we are here at the Heels with Transgender Remembrance Day, just giving so much honor, in particular to trans folks who have been showing us the way in gathering and solidarity. And that when we look to those places where people who have never been served by the state have been organizing, building their strength, and doing amazing work for healing, that those are the real seats of power. And we all get the opportunity to go and ask, how can I follow you? What can I learn from you? And how can I support you? Now, I know that there are many intersections. Some of us have found ourselves in those places where folks are marginalized. And yet we know through intersectionality that being present to one another and weaving ourselves together in a fabric of solidarity has a power that is beyond our imagining, and that builds us towards that world of transformative justice. But it begins by being able to be present to one another, to be able, if we have the vision, we look at each other in our eyes, or we feel a sense of presence and connection with one another. And in this way, this is how we live our lives. Reflections of a mirrored life, living most deeply and faithfully into the possibility of our humanity. Blessed be. Amen. As we refuse to abandon one another, what do we got to do? We got to lean on each other. Yes? So this is our opportunity to bring that spirit into song. Rise, embody your spirit, lift your hearts as we join in singing number 1021, and also projected on the screen, whether you're home or here, Lean on Me. Let us sing.
We know it
beloveds, go forth. Go forth from this place. Go forth from this place, leaning on one another, finding the places where you can find healing and hope for the journey ahead as we weave our lives together in community, reflections of a mirrored life. Now let us speak our words of the chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.
I now introduce to you Jackson O'Brien.
Blow high, blow low, let tempest head the mainmast by the board. My heart with thoughts of thee, my dear, and love well stored, shall brave all danger, scorn all fear, the roaring winds, the raging sea. In hopes on shore to be once more safe moored with thee. Aloft while mountains high we go, the whistling winds that scud along, and the surge roaring from below. Shall my signal be to think on thee? Shall my signal be to think on thee? And this shall be my song. Blow high, blow low, let tempest tear the mainmast by the board. My heart with thoughts of thee, my dear, and love well stored, shall brave all danger, scorn all fear, the roaring winds, the raging sea. In hopes on shore to be once more safe moored with thee. And on that night when all the crew, the memory of their former lives, or flowing cans of flip renew, and drink their sweethearts and their wives, I'll heave a sigh, I'll heave a sigh, and think on thee. And as the ships roll through the sea, the burden of my song shall be. Blow high, blow low, let tempest tear the mainmast by the board. My heart with thoughts of thee, my dear, and love well stored, shall brave all